Hey, this is Terra Invicta, your favorite D&D show on the internet. Probably not, but I'm going to say that anyway.
It's
We have
mine,
returned.
Caleb. It's mine.
Yeah, it's mine too. That's the thing. It's mine too. We're back, and we're going to play some Dungeons & Dragons. When we last left our heroes, they just arrived at the alien city of Gullus Morka. And yeah, so we're going to explore that. It is huge. I did actually change the ruler on here on this map, so it should be accurate to so it's 2,000 feet across, 3,000 feet
Oh my
down.
gosh, I could run so far.
Yes. But I'll go ahead and read off our description again. Get everybody back into the mood of what was going on here, what the city looked like and whatnot. And then we can jump into it. We took a little bit longer getting started because we had to figure out some spell things because D&D's strange.
Yep.
Has all sorts of fiddly rules. Okay, so you guys have just arrived at the entrance to Gullus Morga. So you're right over here. Boop. I'll go ahead and actually reveal this label. So as we go, I'll just label, or I'll reveal my little legend.
No, that was my favorite song from the Grinch.
K. You're at K. It's just the label on the map. But now you know that that's a point. It's just the entrance to Gullus Morga that you're entering right now. Okay, so this is what you see, and when you get to this ledge, in the ledge itself is about approximately 200 feet above the cavern floor, so you're standing over looking at the city, right? Anna's like, I jump into the pit.
A giant pit for her to jump in.
I know, exactly.
This is the biggest pit of them all.
Mm-hmm.
The pit of pits.
Okay, so
it's the epitome of pits.
Oh no!
Ew, no, you took it too far.
See, what you had to say there, Seth, to make it work is it's the epitome. That's all you have to say, because if you say the word twice, then it loses its effect, right?
No, because it made Emily roll her eyes, and that's
puns
all
are all about word association. Okay, anyway, here's Gullus Morga. Within this immense cavern broods a realm of gigantic polyps and intricate fungi, so large and elaborate that they seem almost to complement the twisted towers, temples, the myriad constructions of an insane city. Ruined citadels of cyclopean grandeur tangle amid spires that look to have been grown rather than built, homes for beings with unspeakable forms. Senseless bridges reach to suicide heights, dropping away into squamous slums and melted ghettos. Seemingly accidental avenues and inaccessible alleys form an unfathomable maze, a labyrinth that stretches to the subterranean horizon. Across it all bulge images of gnarled, tentacled things, and red domes that glisten like unblinking demoniac eyes. The already stale air has grown foul and close in this place, as if the smell of the rot was somehow trying to crowd out the final gasp of freshness reaching these forsaken depths. Bursting from the demented cityscape, 3 titanic columns of unearthly violet flame churned silently like the pillars of some gigantic temple, bathing the entire cavern in a nauseating violet light. A light that seems somehow more horrible than the darkness that lurks at the edges of this nightmare grotto.
All right, guys, time to turn around.
Where are the purple flames? Are they just the big purple splotches?
The big purple splotches are the giant pillars.
Well, no, I was curious because there's 4, and you said there were 3.
So you can't actually see this one, right? Obviously, the whole map is revealed to you guys. This one is in a cavern to the side.
Okay,
so.
I couldn't tell because it's all open, so I couldn't tell if that was just a separate area or not. Okay.
Yeah, so any of these are caverns that are on the side here. I didn't want to take the time to hide all the specific areas. It doesn't matter that much, right?
Fair enough. I just wanted to make sure those were actually the purple flames.
Yes. I actually was wondering that myself when I looked at this map and read the description, and then I looked in the notes and it said, there are 4 of these. One of them is in a side cavern, which is why you don't see it right away. And I was like, oh, okay, perfect. Makes sense.
So the purple flames, how far away are we from the closest purple flame?
You are about 350 feet.
Okay.
Get there in 12 seconds.
Well, I was going to say because I have my wand of detect magic, but that's 60 feet. So,
yeah, a little bit further.
Yeah, a little bit further than that.
Yeah, so you guys are looking out over the cave that is the city of Gallis Morga. It's just a giant alien maze.
Do we see a lot of activity? Do we see squid people out and about?
So
or...
this is part of the thing. You don't see a bunch of squid humanoids or anything walking around, but it's hard to tell if there's anything moving in the city because the city is moving. Right? Yeah, the city is biological, right? Yeah.
Right.
So you see towers heaving, and almost as stuff like there's a building near you, and it seems almost as if it's going in and expanding breathing. And then contracting, like it's breathing. Yeah. So weird stuff like that you're seeing.
I'm just imagining it looks exactly like a city. Except it's all demon sea-ified, and so there's There's the lovely little couple pushing their little demonic stroller and their baby Cthulhu.
Yeah.
Caleb, having just been, as I told you, going through Children of Time since you recommended it, this was reminding me of the ant colony they find where it's
yeah. For sure. Yeah, so again, you look down from the cavern, you don't see any other creatures moving about in your immediate vicinity, but again, the whole city is like a giant maze. It's really hard to tell from where you're at whether or not there's you don't see little figures like ants scurrying around everywhere. So whether or not there are creatures that live in here, there's not so many of them that they're crowding out the thing. So
I think Ren, who's in the front?
Is
there enough space that we can? Is there enough space that we can all be standing at the edge?
Yes, I mean the ledge itself, right, is 100 feet across. So.
Oh, okay. Yep. I think Vren's gonna turn to the others and say, "Does anybody have invisibility prepared?" Honestly, does anyone have invisibility prepared? Huh?
Yeah. Lyrith raises her hand.
And I think at this point, Vren kind of knows that. Actually, how high can you cast it?
She can cast it at 3rd level.
That's only 2 creatures, and it's concentration.
Yeah. Or no, she can cast it at 4th level.
That's true. She does have a 4th now.
She does have 2 4th level slots now.
I think it's worth burning one to send some scouts out.
Question is though, only 2 of you can fly, so is it even necessary to send out another one?
Well, Anna can fly, fly through very fast.
I can just pop down because the max is 200. Of course, you made it the max damage that you could.
Hey, that was in the notes. This is a published adventure. I didn't write that.
We could fly her down.
Oh, true. I guess you could do that too.
No, Anna's just jumping.
But then my worry is we're sending down an invisible person and then we're dropping her.
That's true. She doesn't have a good way to get back
up, right?
I mean, does it? If I look over the ledge, does it seem like there's a way to climb up easily, or is this do the squid people levitate or something?
Go ahead and make a nature check. Whoever has the highest nature. I mean, you're obviously kind of.
What if it was a survival check?
Sure.
I have +8 to survival.
Go ahead, Anna.
So unless somebody has a better nature check.
I think Tabby does. Tabby has a 10 in nature.
Oh, go ahead, Tabby.
Okay, yeah, with a 19, he can tell basically it's a DC 27 athletics check to climb down it.
Athletics?
So I mean,
so it's like rock climbing.
You can't just flip down the.
No, to climb up, not down.
Yeah, I mean, either way, it's athletics to climb. Acrobatics is to jump and tumble and.
Yeah, tumble my way up. Just do cartwheels up the side of the wall, right?
No.
Wait, who had boots of spider climbing? Or was that a different campaign?
I think we had them at one point.
Oh,
that's true. You did have them.
Different monk-like person.
Don't call her a monk. I hate her.
She was a thief. She was a thief. Actually, wasn't she an assassin rogue?
Yeah.
Well, I guess it's up to Anna then if she wants to go exploring. She could go around very quickly, but getting back.
Yeah, I was gonna say also there's the idea that Anna, as you're looking down at this thing, it's a maze. So if you get lost and you're invisible, you could literally just get lost yourself.
The other thing I was gonna think too is if we send Vren down with the Helm of Comprehend Languages, do you know what language people are speaking, or do you just understand it?
I don't know.
Good question.
I honestly don't know.
Let's check.
Because like I probably wouldn't be the most helpful. Like I could like go stay kind of close by and try and like listen to things, but I don't know if I would understand the language.
It says you understand the literal meaning of any spoken language you hear. So yeah, that sounds like you're just hearing it from your perspective, not understanding what language it is. Yeah.
Probably what would happen first is Vern would go around, if he hears some language, cast comprehend languages. You'd probably have to.
It also doesn't say though that you it replaces what you're hearing. It's just you understand it. Oh. So you could just like memorize what they said in their language and then repeat it to someone and then
actually
confirmation.
I would have to cast comprehend languages before we left, because if I cast it, it would drop the invisibility.
Yeah,
that's right. I forget it's not a thing where you can just
do whatever you want.
I forgot it was a thing. You don't just always understand. You actually have to be casting.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I mean, like technically, like 2 people can fit on your broom. So I mean, 2 people could go. It's just I don't know if that's necessary.
Yeah, I don't know if it's extremely helpful at this point.
Yeah, so I think, so Lyrith will just, be like, oh, I'll cast it on you and Audrin, and you guys can go out and scout.
Mm-hmm.
Specifically, what Vren's going to be looking for, though, he's going to be looking for skin that he can take, essentially.
Say that again?
He's looking... No, this is the way he thinks of it. He's looking for skin he can take. He's looking for someone he can be.
Yeah.
Would you say he's looking for flesh?
Not that kind of flesh.
I knew exactly what he meant, but just the way you said it was like.
And that's the way he thinks about it. He's like, I'm going to go look for skin. Yeah. He's going to go look for someone that can blend. He's going to go look for someone he can blend in, that he can be. He's not so worried about what's happening here, because once he blends in, that's cake. That's simple.
Yeah.
Which I imagine is going to be a luck save, though, or actually probably not a luck save, because I imagine that. Oh, we'll see.
Mm-hmm. Okay, so
you guys are
probably
going to have to make separate investigation checks since you guys are going out separately.
And, well, we're going to be. Actually, important question: is the broom invisible?
No. Yeah, I don't think it. It's like if you're riding a horse, and like obviously it's a person, but like or it's a creature. Let's see.
Anything
wearing or carrying.
Okay, is invisible.
No, it's you're not wearing or carrying it.
I'd be carrying it. I would be carrying it, and then I would.
I don't know. I don't know. I guess
because the thing is, if I was
horse, were you saying the horse would be invisible? Or
no, the horse wouldn't be invisible.
I feel like
it's mainly just because you're riding it.
But this is an object, though. This isn't another like thing.
I know,
like another animal.
Let's see. What is it? Broom of flying? Does it require attunement?
I believe. I don't remember.
It does not. Okay. Let's see.
I have a list of my attunements somewhere.
Because, like, what if she just cast it on him while he's holding it, and then he happens
That's my
to
thought
start
process.
writing it? Yeah.
Yeah, I think it's fine. If you let go of the broom, then it's gonna.
Not planning on letting go of the broom because then I'm gonna die.
Yeah. All right. I think it's fine. It just seems slightly odd because you're riding it and not just carrying it. But yeah.
He'll cast comprehend languages, so he can hear. So he can do a little bit of listening in, and then he'll go ahead and he'll fly off.
Okay. Yeah. So the plan is for Vren and Audrin to do some scouting in opposite directions. Basically.
I do not have good investigation is the thing.
But I don't think you guys can help each other.
Yeah.
I mean, you could go in the same direction and just like systematically search area by area. It's just going to take longer, right?
Mm-hmm.
Depends on I guess you just go ahead and describe to me how you're doing this and then we can figure out.
How would we, how do you think we would do this, Jordan? Because Vern would probably think to go off on his own. He's honestly just looking for someone who he can. That's
true. It could just be Vren's doing his own thing, and Audrin is the one actually like investigating, looking for like a spot to go. I'm
more helpful if I can just go impersonate, and then I don't have to worry about information. Because his thought process is, if I can be someone, then the information will come. Mm-hmm. But finding that person first is the problem. What do you think, though?
Yeah, I think that's probably the best.
How-
way to-
So what is Audrin focusing on then?
Audrin is probably focusing on figuring out his spells. No, I'm kidding. Audrin is probably honestly probably first checking out the fires, but just getting a general layout. Probably we're on the right side, right over here, right?
Yeah, you're right by K, right there. Yeah.
Okay. I honestly didn't mean it like that at first, but anyway. Yeah.
Yeah, I couldn't even help Audrin, come to think of it. I'm not trained in investigation.
Oh yeah, it wouldn't matter. Yeah.
So it literally doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
Probably like
Yeah. So. Go ahead.
around this area is where I would start.
Sure. Yeah. So you're going north, Vren's maybe going more middle.
Yeah, I'd explore the north section first.
Cool.
The stuff that's immediately to the right and around the side, and then come back through. Yeah.
Brent's probably also going to check out one of the fires, but he probably won't
maybe
be
you
able
just
to
do that
see.
first.
Mhm.
Maybe you both go to that pillar first, right?
That's true. I can actually help with that. I am trained in Arcana.
Yeah, right. That probably makes sense. You're gonna go check out that first, and then split up to do your separate things.
We hold hands on the way to make sure we don't lose each other.
Oh boy.
Look, I was going to suggest it, and then I was like, it's unnecessary. It's fine. So I'm happy you brought it up organically.
Oh boy.
It's the buddy system.
Okay, so Vren and Audrin, go ahead and you fly over to each of these is labeled as O on the map here.
Oh.
So there you go. Okay, so I'm just gonna like reveal the labels as we go to places that matter, just so we know where we've been and stuff. Okay, so the pillar. Okay, so it's a column of churning light. Let's see.
Not like a fire at all?
They radiate a cold, nauseating aura. How close do you get to them? Right, so you're flying over, you just see this giant pillar of violet flame. There's nothing like immediately next to it.
Once I probably start feeling sick is probably when we'd probably want to roll Arcana to see what the heck's going on.
So you don't. Yeah, I was gonna say when you get within 50 feet of it, that's when you actually become like nauseated. So I think we'll say you guys get within that range of it. You're kind of slowly going further and further, and then you get to that range, and then go ahead and make Constitution saves, both of you.
Oh no. Oh, thank goodness.
You failed.
A 25 fails?
Audrin?
I got a 14.
Oh, you did the first one. Okay, so both of you fail the DC 30 Constitution save. But all that happens is you become nauseated for 2d6 rounds. So it's very difficult to fail to succeed on it, but it's not like a huge thing if you fail.
It's ghastly. Oh my.
Yeah, for the next 11 rounds, you guys are nauseated.
Over 2 minutes, we're sitting there. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yes. Okay. It's down. It's down. It's not down. Whoa.
Yeah. So how close do you get to it at that point?
Probably not any closer.
Yeah.
At that one, I'm like, no bad fire.
I don't get any closer, but I do want to do a perception check.
What are you trying to do?
I want to see if I can figure out what that smell is based on what I see and what I'm smelling.
Would that be perception or?
Did I describe a smell? No, I just said cold, nauseating aura. I don't think there's a smell associated with it. Yeah. Yeah, it just kind of has like an aura about it that's like sickening.
Okay.
It's like I think to give you guys some concrete information, this would be like you've spent an entire day, morning to night, staring at a screen without a blue light filter on. Right. So not only your eyes just like burning out of your sockets as you look at it, but like you feel like your whole body just kind of like gross.
I know that feel.
Like, yeah, me too. Like,
I know that feel very well.
Yeah, back before I started using blue light filters, this is back in Terra Nullius days. I would literally like by the end of the day, it was awful, terrible. Don't use blue light filters.
Have you heard of software called Flux?
Yes, that's what I use constantly.
I use it too. I might be
I just-
freezing. Oh, there we go.
Night vision.
Yes. So Audrin, I would just go and make an Arcana check. Like, you're a little bit further away from it, so this is gonna be a disadvantage. I was gonna say, but it doesn't matter because Vren is helping you, and it's on the left there. So, yep, critical success, Audrin. Okay, again, I'll go ahead and preface this. I've said this before with some of the things you found so far in this adventure. You're going to continue to find things that, like, even though you get really high rolls on, there's still going to be stuff that you just don't understand about it because you have no context. But with a critical success 32, Audrin, you're very good at this stuff, right? So I don't know. You tell me, how familiar are you with aberrations? With like I think everyone's heard the stories about. Well, I don't know. Okay, you guys tell me, as your Terra Nullius characters / whoever survived the campaign, how much knowledge of the Devourers got out there?
Well, I'm
What do you think?
thinking of Toiti being dead, so never mind.
Yeah, it'd mainly be up to like Alyssa, and I don't know if Raya was going around talking about this, but
No, she immediately went to
Yeah, she was reckless.
a small village
I
or
don't
whatever
think
to get
it's
away
a-
from everything.
Like, so because the Devourers never showed up in the final battle, they were in the background.
yeah, they were kind of like in the extra
Um,
plane or so. All the people who were involved in on the other planes definitely knew about this, but like the material plane, not so much. So it would be up to like
Right.
Ari and maybe Atabai, like how much they told people about what was happening.
Atabai went into hiding because he wasn't a cat person anymore. Wait, no, that was Atabai. Yeah.
Yeah, Ari, I don't know. I mean, she became a god right after. Like,
Yeah, so I guess this is the question for
It's
like the
like-
Pantheon, right? Like how much
how much have they
did they want
revealed?
the world to know? Like just general knowledge, right?
I mean, don't you think they would have told their followers about him?
I feel like that would
Maybe.
happen.
Maybe, or at least like maybe the higher, like really trusted, like high.
Yeah,
high
that's what I'm
priests or
thinking though.
something,
Like,
right?
so I
Something
don't
like
think
that.
it's general knowledge, the actual truth behind everything that happened related to the Death
No.
Apocalypse. Then,
No, I don't even
um,
think Takui would know about that.
yeah,
kind of thing.
people really definitely know about all the like dead god stuff. Like they know a lot of that story and some of the details surrounding that because of
Yeah,
the new
well, I mean,
gods and all that stuff.
a zombie apocalypse.
Yeah, exactly. Everyone experienced that. The deeper mystery, right? The deeper reason why all that happened and all the stuff with the Devourers, I think is definitely much less known. So, Audrin, I don't know how you would have come across anything. I don't know. You tell me. What would be maybe a hint you got somewhere that would lead you to think about anything even close to where the Devourers? Because out of character, this is something connected to the Devourers. Whether or not Audrin has the context for that, I don't know, right?
My best
What
guess.
do you think?
My best guess is that it's something that Audrin heard bits and pieces from after, like ghost stories when he was on the pirate ship,
Yeah.
especially
Okay, yeah.
especially from Old Man.
Mm-hmm. So
Like,
maybe
he's specifically like sneaking around, hearing these stories. Like Audrin's not trying to find, or like he should be asleep and in bed, but he's sneaking around and being mischievous.
okay. So Audrin, I think you remember a story about it basically amounted to a ghost story. It didn't seem like that had a lot of credibility to it. It was basically like a Lovecraftian horror story, kind of like mostly about people going insane and finding things, dark secrets that broke their brain, right? The one name you remember from that story is Yichak. And he was his title was one of the Elder Evils. You have a hunch, Audrin, that was a real thing. Like something about this light and what you're good with magic stuff. Something about this feels different from anything else you've ever encountered magically. Like it's not supposed to be from this plane, right? It's not supposed to be part of this world. And so you just start thinking about like the Elder Evils. Like I wonder, like what is that about? Like is this connected to that? Like there's something so far beyond us as humans that like it would drive anyone insane. And so your guess magically as to what this would do is if you go to it If you go like touch it or go inside it, you have to make a I think it's another DC 30. Yeah, another DC 30 Constitution save each round to avoid being instantly destroyed. And then basically you would only be able to be restored to life by true resurrection or wish. So it's like very dangerous, very otherworldly. But Audrin doesn't really have much context beyond that. You just have this like whisper of a name in your mind. Yeah.
Right. Eats chalk.
Yeah. That's what he was. That's what.
Yeah,
that's what they
maybe,
called
like-
him in. That's what they called him in elementary school.
So what does Audrin tell to?
It was one time. One time.
What does Audrin say to Vryn then in that case?
Yeah.
Yeah,
He'd
Audrin says,
go, what was that?
would I know that it's abjuration?
I don't know. It's whatever. I think it's evocation.
Evocation? Would I
Yeah.
know that it's evocation?
Sure. Yeah. Right, because evocation would be like damage, right? It's just
Yeah,
like,
evocation's like fireball and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Okay. So Audrin just says, very, very powerful otherworldly evocation. Getting any closer to that will immediately annihilate you.
It's not what I meant. What is that?
Honestly, I'm not entirely sure myself. But I know it's bad. Probably worse than any of us were expecting.
Unfortunately. Okay, how much does Vryn know at this point, Caleb?
You could make a perception check.
I'm not great at perception.
Yeah.
Oh,
20.
That was a
not unnatural 20.
Yeah. So I think it definitely gives you the heebie-jeebies in the way that we know, Seth, you would get. It's not a confirmation necessarily, right? If you got one more, you got in that crit, we would have gotten like actual confirmation, but it feels like the same thing, right?
I think you say like the more than we expected, and Vryn just goes, I was afraid you'd say that.
We need to avoid these at all costs.
You don't have to tell me that again. Let's get away
Also,
from this.
how are we able to see each other right now? Or how are you able to keep up with each other right now? We're both invisible.
You said we're holding hands.
All right.
Hands, remember? Yeah.
I mean, you could literally just like float next to each other and just have a whispered conversation in the air, right? So,
Let's.
Where they could hold hands.
sure.
Invisible hand holding. It's not gay if you don't see it.
just the way you said that, Jordan, was really funny.
Anyway.
Okay, so at that point, you guys split up and do your separate
Yes.
searches then? Okay. So Vryn, I think it's just an investigation check, unfortunately for you. You're going to be bad at this, but it's I can't think of like it could be a luck save, but I think it's just investigation. You're trying to search out this.
There was something.
Yeah, so I think it's just like Audrin, you're just kind of looking for like areas of interest.
Yeah, I'm just getting a lay of the land and seeing if there's anything else that's like that. Or,
I mean, there are other pillars, but yeah.
Yes, but this area, this thing, this makes me this makes me almost die. By getting close to it. This thing over here makes me want to vomit through my ears. Stuff like that.
Cool. Yeah, so go ahead and make your separate investigation checks, and we'll see what happens.
I'm going to spend a sorcery point to magically guide myself to try to re-roll that.
Okay. 16 is better?
Yeah, it's not great, but it's better.
Okay, so...
I just need something that has normal limbs.
All right, let me take a look at my notes here. So, Vryn, so as you guys are searching around, you I think we see Vren flying around in his room. Obviously, it's just like we're seeing like the weird, ghostly, invisible image of him, right? But for the audience, we get to see the outline. You're kind of flying around the alien city. You see like, you know, the city is again very much alive. It's just taking, even like though you guys are flying, it's still difficult to navigate the city because like there's so many like towers that just like ascend into nothingness, and it's almost as if like it doesn't really like you can't really get a good bird's eye view above the city because everything is so high. So I think we see maybe as Vren is flying by, we see a monstrous tongue split into a triple fork. It rolls out from a structure's fleshy abscess, licks the red domes upon its surface. So it's like this tongue comes out of the building, licks the top of it, and then recoils back inside the building. So Vren just sees that as he's like flying by, like the building lick itself.
The buildings are monsters?
The building itself does seem to be alive in some weird way. It doesn't seem like they notice Vren or like Vren. Do you want to make a Arcana check for me, just as like you're going about? Actually, you can do this with advantage too, because actually, Audrey will be helping you. I think. I think this is both of you, just like as you're noticing things, right? And I think with a 23, good enough for either of you. You can tell that it's definitely alive, right? All of these buildings are alive. They're not like if you got in their way, like if you just stood in front of that building for 20 minutes, eventually its tongue would come out and like get you again. But it's not like they're not consciously trying to kill things. It would just be like a reflex. So like if you went into the wrong building, it would bite down on you or something, right?
What is this? A mimic fetus?
It's definitely way bigger than any mimic you've seen, right? These are huge buildings too.
Have I seen any?
Yeah. No. Well, actually, no. I don't know.
No, you don't know.
I feel like
I don't think we've seen any mimics. We've seen mimics
never-
as a group, but like I don't think we've seen any in this campaign.
Yeah, maybe not.
I know.
Have we seen it in the last campaign?
Quick snap.
That's true.
Saw mimic.
Jordan wasn't there for that, but yeah, we did do a one
So
shot.
I haven't seen a mimic.
I maybe not. Yeah. So that's what Vren sees, and you can tell, right? Like these aren't going to attack you or anything, but don't get in their way. And
like
then
a Venus flytrap, but a building.
Yeah. Venus flytrap is a really good comparison, right? If you're stupid and get in their way, then yeah, they'll eat you. But and then Audrin, you see as we're like flying around, you see let's see. As you're just flying around, a great pillar of violet flame, nearly 60 feet high, just appears in your path, like from nowhere. Like it's separate from the other ones, but just like a smaller version of it, just like suddenly appears from the ground or the sea. You're not sure where it's coming from, but it just kind of like manifests right in front of you. You manage to swerve around it. But it does seem like these are just kind of happening randomly too. So it's just a very dangerous, like bad place to be. So that's just kind of like flavor as we're seeing you guys search around. Let's see, Vren with a 9. What did you get? 16. Make a luck save for me. You'll find something no matter what, but this will depend on what you find, right?
Vren does not have luck yet on here. I did not add that.
Yeah, just whatever your proficiency is.
Yeah. We'll get rid of. I'm not sure I did this properly. I'll just wait.
You just rolled D20 too.
Yeah, I'll figure this out in a minute. So it's D20 plus proficiency.
Oof, that's not good.
I don't know if this is something I can use a sorcery point on.
What is it?
You can tap into your inner wellspring of magic to try and conjure success from a failure. When you make an ability check, it's not an ability check.
Yeah, it's a save. So what are the limitations to your changeling stuff?
Shape change.
I think you find something, but it's not something you could adopt.
So essentially, it just has to have the same assortment of limbs, pretty much.
Same assortment of limbs. Okay. Yeah, so you don't find that. You do find. Okay, so as you're searching around, you see it kind of looks like a giant crab-like thing. It's crawling around, seemingly hunting for something. I don't think it notices you, but it looks like this. If I can find it here. Looks like this.
Ah, dang it, why I clicked off of it.
So like a giant
Ew.
kind of weird crab thing that has brains kind of like on its back as if they were pimples, right? Like this weird pustule kind of filled sacs that have brains in them. And yeah, it's like crawling around. It has a couple of weird eyes poking out from its appendages. And yeah, so you see this. It is actively hunting around for stuff. If you want to make an Arcana check, you could do that now.
Of note, this would actually be it would have been a 10 because I didn't put my proficiency. Is that still enough? That's not.
No, I think. Well, unlike death saves, I think it's 11 to 20. I think we figured this out last time. It's 11 to 20 and 1 to 10.
No, I'm pretty sure I argued it for 10 last time.
Yeah, but we failed. I in the end ruled it the other way anyway. I decided.
By the way, Caleb really woke up and decided to do an 11-minute video just to roast me.
I did. That's I did the super cut of every time we picked on Alyssa in last session.
Yeah, that's really great.
So Arcana on the weird crab thing?
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
16.
Again, you get this weird feeling, but you have no clear confirmation. Yep. But yeah, you can tell that it's like, I think your guess as to what this thing does is it like hunts brains maybe and like puts them in its little weird sacs. Like maybe you just see this happen. Like it finds finds some creature that has a brain but still doesn't have the right amount of limbs, right? Finds some weird monster. It attacks it, kills it, and then like slices its head open and extracts its brain and puts it in a sack on its back. Yeah, so that's basically the most interesting thing you find in your search. Audrin, on the other hand,
entire hour, that's all I find.
Mm-hmm. I mean, there are other things, but like that's the most the most worthy thing to mention, right? You find there's weird monsters and critters and stuff, but
nothing with the right number of limbs.
Nothing with the right number of limbs, yeah. And I think that actually does tell you something already, though. The city is not crawling with Kopru either, right? You don't see a squid people everywhere, right? Vren is looking around, invisible, not being noticed by things, and there's not a giant army of Kopru down here, at least in this section of the city. And that's what Audrin finds. So Audrin, the most interesting thing you find, right, is you don't find a whole lot just in this general middle part of the city. You're just kind of wandering around. You see the weird pillar of a flame and the living buildings. But your eye is pretty quickly caught towards this ziggurat over here. So Q on the map. So what you see is there's kind of like some ruins around. I mean, the whole city is kind of like a weird ruin anyway. But you see like some outbuildings around the ziggurat, and they are very densely populated with Kopru and troglodytes. So you see, you get a count on them. Let me find the number here. You find. Where is this? Yeah, here we go. So you find you see 38 Koprus of the size that you are like used to, right? So like medium humanoid sized. And again, as a reminder, Kopru, they have squiddy heads. They have weird tail flukes. So it's like they can kind of walk on them or slither on them, like maybe like a snake. But like they have claws on the end of them. So they can kind of slither around on the land, but it does seem like a bunch of them are like lounging in these little pools of water. So again, most of the city is devoid of water, but it looks like there's some like pools that they are like lounging in around here. There's also 70 troglodytes scattered around the ruins. It looks like they're slaves, like they're waiting on the Kopru. They seem similar to the troglodytes that you found earlier. They're not like diseased or anything, but like the same type of troglodyte. And then you see 16 Kopru behemoths. So these like large-sized, horse-sized, you could say, giant squid people with like super beefy squid arms, and like they look like some sort of, you're not entirely sure how they were made, but like either this is like what Kopru just grow into if they're old long enough, or maybe there's some other process, like maybe demonic in origin, to make them this large. But it looks like they're definitely like hard hitter troll type Kopru behemoth stuff. And yeah, so they're kind of scattered around the ziggurat, on the outbuildings around the ziggurat. The ziggurat itself, it's this is what it looks like. Amid ruined towers of melted stone and walls of quivering ooze, a wide area lies clear of rubble and less wholesome debris. From these cleared acres rises a stone pyramid that looks out of place from the surrounding madness, its dimensions having the look of lucid design and bearing comforting right angles of masonry, right? So this city is entirely alien, but then this is like pyramid looks like it was constructed normally, like it's an actual stone structure. The sides of the ziggurat are festooned with detailed carvings of reptilian and simian monsters, wrapped and cradled in endless coils of tentacles. Steep steps rise into the darkened, noxious cavern air to a simple platform at the ziggurat summit. Not all seems right, though, as several cracks mar the pyramid's masonry, revealing sections of diseased purple flesh within. In addition, two sides of the pyramid look to be partially overgrown, covered in putrid swaths of pale green mold. In places, great slicks of tacky, dried blood stain the ziggurat sides. You also see at the very top of the pyramid, 3 more of those Kopru behemoths, those big guys. But yeah, it definitely seems like there's something going on in this pyramid. The Kopru are here, right? And so the ghost that you met earlier did say that the Kopru had some sort of base of operations here, that they were doing their weird dark ritual to make the shadow pearls in. It seems like this is a good candidate for that. So yeah, but it's like surrounded on all sides by like an army, a small army of Kopru and troglodytes. Yeah, so that's what you find, Audrin. Do you guys go back to the ledge after that hour, or can keep going on and try to find something else?
We'd go back. We can't get surrounded.
Cool. Yeah, so
turned into a troglodyte too. It looks like I could have turned into a troglodyte too.
Mm-hmm.
But you haven't seen one.
I know. That's what
I was gonna say. Now that Audrin knows that where they are, everyone could go down there and try to take something. But yeah,
so
I assume
another
you
hour
relay
and another
spell.
visibility spell.
I assume you're relaying this information to everybody, and we're kind of convening.
Mm-hmm. Don't go near the purple flames. Don't just don't.
Yeah.
Not worth it.
That ziggurat, on the other hand, is probably exactly where we need to go. So we need to construct a plan to go in there and not die.
Well, unfortunately, I can't infiltrate anything. The only thing I found were crabs. Nothing worth mentioning, anyway.
An understatement of what you found, but yeah.
Well, no, that's probably the only thing I found worth mentioning was a giant crab that you flip upside down to do massive damage to its underside. Jordan, you tell me you get that, please.
No. Sorry, you said I saw a giant crab, and my mind went, they're making a special shampoo for that.
Oh my gosh. That's not the reference I was going for.
Oh boy.
How many were down there, Audrin?
Yeah, 38 normal Koprus, 16 behemoths, and 70 enslaved troglodytes. There's also 3 behemoths on the top of the ziggurat as well.
It's quite a bit.
So, an army.
As a reminder, just so you guys are...
In Anna.
As characters, you guys also know that you're supposed to be on the lookout for an artifact of some sort, the thing that's keeping the water. It doesn't sound like that would be in the same temple with them, from what the ghost was saying. So there might be something else to look for if you do another search around.
Okay.
And that might be what you have to do, because if right now, you can't just storm the ziggurat, right?
I mean, we could, but then that would just be the next campaign.
You would just die, yeah.
You said that purple things just randomly show up. What if we could find a way to harness that and then just make it go kaboom on those guys?
The real question is, did Audrin feel the sickness when the purple thing popped out of nowhere?
Probably, yeah.
But it probably went away quickly.
It was on a much smaller scale, and it was a flash.
It disappeared after 3 rounds, the pillar of flame that appeared.
Okay. So enough to disintegrate you. if you ran into it.
If you failed your save 3 times in a row, yes. A DC 30 Constitution save.
Enough to get down with the sickness.
Got it. All right. So we need to figure out a way to harness this in. No, just kidding.
Well, I mean,
Let's
if
see.
it's coming from some sort of like orifice that's opening up above and not coming from below, then all we have to do
Yeah, it was
is,
unclear to you, yeah.
I mean, if we can find an orifice above.
Okay, out of curiosity, I was just looking at what the spell component is for tongues, and it's a small clay model of a ziggurat.
Mm-hmm.
Befitting.
Yeah, I mean, like Lirith can cast this thing on both of you another 4 times if you need to. So I mean, we could just do that. Like we could just take like the rest of the day just to like investigate,
Scout the entire city. Yeah.
you know.
Do we want to do that? I mean, how much we've it was 2
As a
hours.
note-
We're 3 hours into the day.
I don't know what else we do because I don't think
real quick.
yeah.
So from the people who stayed, who has the best survival?
Anna,
So what did you guys
maybe
do?
Tabby.
I'm trained in survival. Tabby's trained in nature. There's
Yeah,
a reason I took
Anna.
survival.
Yeah. Anna, do you want to make a survival check with advantage just to see how
Oh,
well
yes.
you guys are hiding your camp here as you're waiting for them?
Sure. Yeah, I took survival because nobody else has it.
Yeah.
That's a crit
Whoa.
success.
With advantage, yep, crit 28. So you guys have found a like maybe you guys figured out how to get into this cavern over here. Maybe there's like some other passage like to the left, like that connects that corridor to this cavern. So you guys have been able to hole up in there, and have not been bothered, and you will continue not to be bothered.
So essentially, I found us like a good resting spot that we
A good
could go
resting
to.
spot. Let's if this was a video game, you would have found the like rest area that like it gets activated. Yeah, and you can always go back here to be safe.
How much do we know about troglodytes? And it looked like the
And
troglodytes.
by always go back here, we mean try to make a DC 27 strength saving throw if our
We have
flyers are
people
down.
who can fly. I guess, yeah. If the flyers are down,
I just realized something. The troglodytes are slaves, right? It looks like they're
It looks
slaves.
like it. Yeah.
That's not good, because the only thing I can turn into then is a
Is a
slave.
troglodyte.
That's not good. Da-na-na-na-na.
Because I don't have a great way to escape.
No, but it might be a little bit more discreet if you're.
That would be-
but we're sure.
It would
Well-
be fitting, being that you're basically a slave already.
no. My idea is
Yeah, Audrey, you can just order him to do it.
no. But the thing is, my idea was I could go wander the city as a troglodyte. But if troglodytes are slaves here, I might be
Yeah.
seen and go, "Hey, what are you doing back
Yeah.
to this place?"
Mhm.
Yeah.
The idea was I could walk around someone who could go around, because obviously troglodytes weren't where I were.
Yep.
They're contained in this area, so I would probably stick out if I was a troglodyte.
Yeah, especially with all your gear, you'd stick out like a sore
Yeah,
thumb.
the gear
Oh, true,
sticks
yeah.
out.
Yeah, you look like a troglodyte adventurer, which
Yeah. So what do we do?
I mean, here's the thing. I don't think it's a bad idea just to like, especially since we have like a place to rest, to blow some spell slots and then, like in character, right? Like blow some spell slots, come back together after you guys have gathered some more information, and then
Mhm.
go the
Here-
next day.
Here's
Makes
I think
sense.
what might be a good idea. Let's both go there. But as before we go, I'm going to cast comprehend languages on myself and cast tongues. No, that doesn't work. Never mind. I was gonna say cast tongues on Audrin, but he's not really gonna be doing any talking. Oh, but also understand any spoken language it hears. Yeah, let's do that. So Audrin can essentially get close and listen in, and then I can get troglodyte skin if I need it. So we can both go and figure out what the heck's going on. And
Are
listen
you
in
gonna
on
go
what's
to
happening.
the temple, to the
Yeah,
pyramid?
go to the ziggurat, both be invisible, and I'll cast tongues on Audrin, comprehend languages on myself, and we'll just go kind of listen and see what's going on.
Yeah, you can do that.
What else do we have to do?
I don't
And
know
if-
if this will be applicable, but Takui is going to give Audrin a bardic inspiration. I don't know if he'll do anything in 10 minutes, but if we're going to blow stuff, might as well just
How far away is it? How quickly can we get there?
Oh, that's a good point.
Not that far away.
Yeah, it's only 500, 600 feet maybe.
Yeah, Audrin can get there pretty quickly.
As a reminder, you guys have not searched the southern section of the city yet. Just as a note.
Yeah,
Right, so that's what I'm saying. Go back to the ziggurat, do that, come back, get another round of visibility. Like, just do as much reconnaissance today, and then we'll figure out a plan from there.
Well,
right?
here's a thought. Vren can have another person on the broom with him. Why doesn't Lyrith just come? Oh no, I guess she had to cast it on herself then too. Yeah. Then
she can.
She can. Yeah.
She could do it another. So like, if you guys wanted to, right, like go in the southern part. What we could do is go to the ziggurat, do your one round there where you want to go and you want to, get the troglodytes and whatnot. Come back. She can cast it at 4th level. So that way it's on her. You and Audrin come with you guys, cast it again while you're still out in the southern area.
Like,
and
do
then,
another 2 hours out and about.
Well, she could do 2 full hours total. That's it.
Yeah.
Well, we'd have to convene before she casts it a second time. And it's safest to do that back at the base.
Oh, that's true, because Audrin couldn't follow you.
How long does it take to get back to the base anyway? Because I can move at a speed of 60 feet.
Well, you wouldn't necessarily, if it was you and her, she could also cast it at 3rd level on just the 2 of you. So you guys could be out for 2 hours, but Audrin would have to go back after 1 hour. You see what I'm saying?
But Audrin's better at
investigating
anyway, though. Yeah, it makes sense. You have time here. As long as your base is hidden, you can just go back and forth for a little while.
Yeah. Okay.
Okay, so to the ziggurat first is the plan?
Ziggurat first, kind of just look around for like an hour, get an idea of because obviously this is where we need to be. Look around, see if we can find the thing, see what we can find pretty much.
Sure. Okay, so it's at this point we do need to make stealth checks if you guys are like actually actively going around and searching. Let me see who might have the highest perception here. Yeah, okay, 16. Okay, yeah, 16. Okay. Yeah, go ahead and make a stealth check. Who has the lowest between the two of you? You, okay. Because this would it's going to be at advantage, Vren, because you're invisible. But it would be like whether or not you're making noise. Not you're invisible, they can't see you, but whether or not you're being detectable in other ways. So a stealth check with advantage, your DC is 16.
23.
Nice. Yep, so you guys are able to do your scouting about without too much trouble. So you can grab some troglodyte skin if you'd like. That's not too much of an issue.
So it's really just the troglodytes. Like even like this, because the squid people are not gonna work.
They don't have legs, yeah. So
it's just the squid people and the troglodytes here.
You don't see anything else, yeah. Mm-hmm.
Okay, and
Audrin on the ziggurat.
Audrin would have had tongues cast on him. I have comprehend languages, so
there's not a whole lot of conversation that you're picking up between the two that's like helpful. It's a lot of like slave, go do that, or actually, you know what? They don't talk at all. I just remembered something.
Telepathy.
They all have telepathy. I forgot about that. So literally no one is talking the entire time you're there. Audrin, want to make an Arcana check for me?
I have something I could do for this, but it would drop the invisibility. I'm not going to do it.
Yeah, with a 30 Arcana from both of you, you can figure that out, right?
Oh,
like,
hold on. I think I clicked it twice. I think it's just the top one.
Oh, the 22. Okay, yeah.
22.
Yeah, so I think it's like it's pretty easy to tell after a while that they're communicating to each other without speaking somehow. And then I think there's another piece of it that maybe they're definitely communicating telepathically to their troglodytes too. There's just a lot of mind talking back and forth. There's another piece that I was going to give you if you had gotten that 30 that you don't get. But yeah, there's no speaking happening here. So you could try to go investigate the like pyramid itself, try to find a way inside and like look in there. But that would be a bigger thing.
I think it's what we're here for, so might as well try.
Okay, so on the side of the pyramid, you see actually as you guys get closer, who has the better religion check?
I'm guessing Audrin, because mine's a 0.
Go ahead, Audrin. 18. Okay.
Nice.
I think 18 is good enough to recognize this. You're familiar enough with this at this point that you can recognize that the monster and tentacle motifs decorating the ziggurat are associated with Demogorgon. Right, but you've come across this enough times now that's pretty obvious at this point. Right, monkeys, squids, and lizards are like his 3 animal motifs that are going on. So yeah, all 3 of those are present here. So when you get to the summit, it becomes evident that the Koprus have not finished their work of encasing the original organic structure in stone, right? There's like bruised purple flesh that quivers beneath the gaps in the stonework. It does look like they probably came here and built it, right? On top of an existing living structure. You can see that the building is alive, right? Like all the other buildings here. There's like green mold that grows over much of the southwestern side of the ziggurat. So I assume you try not to get too close to that. Audrey, you want to make a nature check for me?
Does not
Okay, you do not recognize what the mold is. But then, so as you're looking around, you do see that there's places on the pyramid where the exterior is incomplete or is cracked and fallen away. Beneath the thick layer of stone, the live plum-colored flesh of the true structure twitches. You keep seeing these places there. So at the apex of the pyramid, there is an entrance, a dome-like bulge of constricted, bruise-colored muscle. That's like there's like an opening at the very top. It's like an orifice that you can definitely like go into.
You about to want to eat flesh?
It's closed. It's closed right now, but you can tell that would be the place that you go in. But it does seem like there's some other way that they would have to You're not sure if you just go walk up to it and knock on it or something, or like how it opens exactly.
Maybe it's just an exit, and this is the sphincter.
Yeah.
I mean,
quite possible.
It fits.
Yeah, so you could try to get in, but it does look like it's not as simple as just like flying into an empty entrance, right?
All right. I pull out my trusty package of pepper.
Try to make it sneeze?
Yeah.
Okay. Do you even have that on you? I was going to say, I don't think you do.
No.
Oh, by the way, at camp, Tabby is definitely cooking food for everybody since he took that feat.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, man.
What a great man.
Yeah, so do you want to make an investigation check for me, Audrey?
You're going to have to teach Audrey how to do that.
Yeah, I mean,
Okay, 16 is not good enough to find any. So you look around and you don't really see anything else that stands out to you as like a way to get in or any clues about like how to open the thing. Might just be brute force. You're not sure.
I'd just like to point out.
Oh wait, he has.
I did give you a bardic, but I don't know how long it's been now for any of these things. So.
I think this is probably taking long enough. You are waiting for conversation for a long time, right?
Right.
So
that's fair.
And also, I don't think it would have mattered anyway. I don't think you had high enough to get what you needed. So even with the bardic. Yep, so that's what you find within that hour. Do you do anything else? Do you actually try to enter it somehow or just fly back?
toss a grenade into
No. If we had a way to do it, I have detect thoughts. But obviously that's a little tricky.
Yeah.
When it would make me not invisible. Yeah, I think it's time to investigate the south.
Sure. We can just go ahead and assume that happens, and then Audrey, make another investigation check. No help because Friend doesn't have trained, so he's there, in case something goes wrong. But
I thought we were a bardic.
Weren't we investigating with Lyrith? Does she have it trained?
Investigation?
I don't think we need to at this point. Like I know you discussed it, but like I don't actually think it matters because you guys can go back and infinite as many times as you need to. It's not that big of a deal. There's no kind of time constraint.
Yeah.
Yeah, either way, though, I think Osrin's just making the check straight. So
Okay, so here's the question. I currently still have inspiration charged. So I could.
yeah, we can spend it. Makes sense.
You guys think that's a good idea?
Up to you.
Yeah, no way to get advantage otherwise. So
Yeah,
makes sense.
I'll do it. And hopefully I won't regret it. Watch me get a double 1.
One more point with that advantage. Yeah, with the 24, you definitely find the other main point of interest here. So there's plenty of there's the pillars. I'm just going to start revealing these.
Good band, pillar.
There's the pillars. There's these giant chasms that seem to go into the abyss somewhere below the city. Not the actual abyss, but an abyss. There's all sorts of other exits and entrances that lead out from the cavern that you're finding. L and M over here. They're up here too.
There's 2 L's and 2 M's.
Yeah, I think it's
It's Lele
like-
and Nene.
it's like MLLMM.
Yeah, so L is like let me check. my notes
Oh,
here.
are you just saying that that's the type of like?
That's just the label.
Yeah.
the label for it.
Yeah,
Yeah,
it's just a label for it.
All the purples are labeled O.
Or right.
Real quick, I'll just make sure there's nothing important about any of those. Let's see. Yeah, so the N is ends are chasms. These chasms vary from 100 to 300 feet deep and allow access to the deep entrances to the cavern. There are M is a deep entrance. These 4 lower passageways connect to Golas Morga via deep rents in the cavern floor. Okay, so I see. So these do not appear above ground. If you go down into the chasm at all, and maybe you do, go down into the chasm a little bit and look around, you can see there's a corridor leading from N down this way, and this is all underneath the city, right? So they're going to deeper places. That's what it's talking about. L is just secondary entrances that lead back
Just like what we were on.
up,
pretty much.
Yeah. But then you also find P.
Oh no, I thought I cleaned that up.
Okay, so at that label over there is a crater.
There it is. Okay.
Yeah, on the southwest there. A wide crater in the shattered cavern floor has become an abscess for all the pungent fluids that seep and bleed from the alien city. Rent as if by some great impact, the cracked depression blossoms with sickly molds and tumid blue and white mushrooms, several heads taller than a full-grown man. Languid veins of mucus trickle down the sides of the crater to pool at the basin's floor, leaving only a small patch of fractured earth undespoiled. At the crater's bottom sits a 10-foot wide stone head of a reptilian creature with bulging eyes, a forked tongue, and a headdress of feathers and spikes. The stone head is cracked and damaged, and as the black sludge pools around the stump of its neck, it sizzles and evaporates into swirling blue-green wisps of vapor. Do you want to make a religion check for me there, Audrey?
So it's a lizard head, stone
Yeah, it's like
lizard
a little
head.
statue head. Yeah.
And when the liquid falls on it, it kind of evaporates.
It kind of evaporates, yeah. Mm-hmm. Okay, yeah, 14 isn't good enough. There's something seems familiar about this lizard head, but you're not entirely sure off the top of your head.
Off the top of his.
Mm-hmm.
Would it seem familiar at all to Vren that it's worth rolling?
You can make a religion check of your own. That's fine.
You might as well. I probably won't do very well on it. I have a 0.
Yeah.
Ooh, 17.
Yeah, no.
Okay.
Nothing else.
Can Lyrith make her own separate religion check?
Is Lyrith actually there? I don't think she needs to be there.
Oh,
is
okay,
the thing.
fine.
It's just another person to get into trouble, right? If they actually.
Sure.
Yeah. Yeah, so I will need you guys, Vren, make a stealth check with advantage.
Give me 1 second.
Your DC
Right
is
about-
23.
Oof.
Well, luckily I have the thing that lets me re-roll if things are really
Mhm,
bad.
mhm.
Stealth. I'm gonna re-roll. I have to crit.
You have to crit on it, yeah.
But you know what? It's worth
Well,
it.
Doesn't tie go to the defender?
I guess it could be 19 and 20, technically. You have a +4 on it, so
Yeah. I think I've already failed, so I might as well.
tie goes to the attacker in D&D, actually.
Oh no, dang it.
21.
Would Lyrith have given him a bardic?
Well, I thought she wasn't there, so
No, well, like when you left.
was it within 10 minutes?
Oh, probably not. No, yeah.
Yeah.
Never mind.
So,
Okay,
if
yeah.
she was
So,
there, then yeah. but-
Vren,
bound.
Audrin, yeah,
I could
you guys
use
are.
guidance on friend.
That would get rid of the invisibility, which would get rid of the advantage.
I was gonna say
yeah,
that.
no.
That doesn't
no.
help. Okay, so you guys are trying to get close enough so you can actually look at the thing, right? Real quick, actually, you know what? Let's do this. I'm gonna make a stealth check for the thing that's here. And if you guys don't notice it, then I'm assuming that you guys are like, okay, it's safe here, and are going closer to the statue to like get a read on it. Or the little statue head, anyway.
Does Audrey
So
have a where?
Well, I mean, yeah, you guys are going to be warned if like combat actually starts. It's just whether or not you get too close, right?
Okay, fair enough.
So I got a 17. What's your passive perceptions?
11.
14.
Okay, so you guys do not see on one side of the crater is a giant crab thing. It's similar to the one that Vren saw earlier, but much bigger.
Oh, great!
So it looks like this, right? Giant crab-looking thing with huge limbs. It has all these pustules on its back with all these brains on it. It seems like it has like more like 10, all like scattered across the surface of its back. It has this gaping maw that has like rows and rows of teeth and like a million tiny eyes on the front of its face. Not a million, but several.
Like Sebastian went to college.
Yeah, so it's very huge, and we're just gonna have to roll some initiative here because
Are you saying that this thing could like insta-kill?
we are
Potentially?
going to see. Maybe we take a break here. Let's go ahead and take a break here.
Of that.
I'll warn you guys right now. This is the most dangerous thing in the entire city. And on that, we'll go ahead and take a break and come back and see what happens to Audrin and Vren. Stick around. We got more Terra Invicta right after this.